Hello and welcome to Chan Draws Dota, the show where I describe a character to Chan, who draws it based solely on my description. This episode's Broodmother. Broodmother is a horrifying giant spider. I looked at a lot of spiders for this, and Broodmother is pretty much just like a fake video game species. I was gonna say tarantula, but that's probably just because she's huge, and tarantulas are like the go-to like huge spider. Looking at a lot of pictures of spiders actually made me more afraid of them. Like last week I wasn't afraid of spiders, but last night I slept on a bare mattress in the nude, so nothing could creep under my covers. So I think exposure therapy works in the opposite direction as well. Like if you look at a ton of pictures of something, you can start to develop a fear of it. Maybe that's why I have a crippling fear of women. Broodmother is navy blue with red highlights. The blue gets paler towards her core torso, or her corso, as I call it. I don't call it that. Her legs are sharp and spindly, kind of like scythes. And she has 3 long tri-segmented legs on each side, and these are red closer to the tips, and there are 2 red bands in the middle segment of each. She has 2 shorter arm legs in the front, used more like arms. These are just pretty much straight up scythes, where the blades are both red. Broodmother isn't completely covered in hair, which I think is weird for a spider because they're usually covered in hair. I imagine it would take up a lot of computing power to process all of the hair a real spider would have. Also, she would be even more horrifying if she were covered in fur. She only has black hair on the top of her abdomen, which is kind of raised up a bit high and kind of wrinkly looking. Like from the side, I kind of thought it looked like a testicle, but then I image searched spider testicle, which was a huge regret of mine. I'll probably have to go through reverse exposure therapy, which is, for me, just looking at gifs of animals being friends. Now people are going to send me gifs of spiders being friends with each other. The abdomen also has some red dots and stuff on top. The torso, or corso, fuck that. The torso is fairly small, like standard spider carapace, stuff. Her head is a bit weird for a spider because it's kind of more like an alien or monster skull. Her head is more clearly separate than a normal spider usually is. Normal spiders are pretty much like no necks. She has a neck, she can kind of turn it a little bit and stuff. She has 6 red eyes, 2 in the normal spots and 4 on a square on her forehead. I missed out on a pun there. I keep wanting to say it instead of she, because nothing about her is feminine in any way, unless you're into some weird stuff. Or if her voice is actually, what's her name? Ellen McLean? I think that's her name. This sounds like a movie character though. She was the voice of GLaDOS. She has a red kind of like fin horn thing sticking up on the back of her head. It kind of goes back. She has a lipless mouth full of long, sharp teeth. Most spiders have lips. Do they have lips? I don't think that's something I should Google. With 2 little pink fangs on either side. She doesn't really have cheeks, so you could like stick a pencil through her mouth from either side, or like a baseball bat since she's the size of a car. She has 2 hook-like scythe feeler things on the sides of her lower jaw. The Broodmother's horrifying, but the real reason she's super horrifying is because of all of her abilities. Like her first one is she injects her babies into people, which explode out like chest bursters. Second, like when she's on her webs, she goes super fast and she's invisible like all the time. And there are always webs everywhere. And when she bites you, you basically become blind and like partially paralyzed. And if you think you're about to get her, she just takes big bites out of you. She eats you alive. That's Broodmother. She's a terrifying alien spider monster. That's Broodmother. She's a spider. I should put in a disclaimer that I realize that exposure therapy isn't just looking at pictures of things. I took an intro to psych course like 7 years ago, so I'm pretty sure exposure therapy is not just looking at pictures of things.